Hi there everyone, my name is Ranger Amy and I'm out here at Catoctin Mountain Park. Isn't it beautiful? I love these trees. In fact, I was thinking we could play a game today that involved the trees. It's a scavenger hunt game. I absolutely love scavenger hunt games. I hope you do too. It's called What Kind of Trees Do We See? This scavenger hunt game involves using these wonderful field guides that help us figure out what kind of trees we see in the park. They have great pictures and information on the trees so we can learn all about them. Will you come play with me? Let's go. Wowee, look at this tree, you guys. Something seems fishy about this tree. It's got scales? Scales on a tree? Have you ever heard of such a thing? I don't think they're scales, but the bark hangs off the tree. It's very interesting. And I found a leaf on the ground and it looks to be the leaves up in the tree. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little leaves. No, those are leaflets. These are leaflets, and this whole thing is a leaf. These two characteristics really tell me that this is a shagbark hickory. And if you have a field guide at home, you could check it out in your field guide. These trees are really cool. One thing about these trees that I know is they produce these nuts right here. What critters do you think enjoy these nuts? I know squirrels do, maybe even some deer. I wonder if we could use the nuts for making maybe flour, or we could just munch on them as a snack. I wonder, we'll have to check our field guides. They'll probably tell us about that. This tree has that flaky bark. I read that scientists think that this flaky bark can stop the animals from climbing this tree. Do you think the squirrels could still get up this tree? It gets really flaky on the top. Do you think I could get up this tree safely? How about you? I wonder if that bark is really doing its job. What do you think? Let's go check out our next tree. Wow, check out this tree. It's got gray, rough bark, kind of flaky, and the leaves, they look like this. I found one on the ground for you. Can you see that? It's got rough edges, pretty standard leaf shape, and it's growing pretty straight up there, straight to get the sunlight. I know what this is. It's a black cherry tree. This is a younger black cherry tree because the bark isn't too rough yet. As they get older, the bark gets rougher, kind of like wrinkles for humans. And it grows pretty straight. That's useful to us as well. We like to take these trees and responsibly cut them down to make them into boards that we could use to build furniture and cabinets and other things that go in our houses. The wood is a beautiful red color, so if we do that responsibly, it's a good resource to have. They also have another resource that birds and even humans like. They grow cherries. Now these cherries aren't the cherries you think about that you could buy at a grocery store. No, they're littler cherries and we can make them into jam. But 70 species of birds enjoy these cherries. That's got to be very important for them. What would they do without these cherries? What will happen is the birds will eat the cherries. There's seeds in the cherries, so when the birds fly around, they eventually have to go to the bathroom, so they're going to poop out the seeds and spread the seeds around to plant more trees. That's awesome for this tree right here. Let's go check out the next tree. Whoa, this is a different tree. It's shorter, the bark is smooth, and these leaves, They're pretty standard leaf shape. They're a little large and the edges are rough, but with round edges. I know what this tree is. It's a witch hazel. Witch? That reminds me. Reminds me about a fact about this tree. Halloween. That's when people dress up as witches. And Halloween's in the fall. Yes, that's it. These flowers don't bloom until the fall. But there's no insects around in the fall. How will the flowers get pollinated? Oh, that's right. There's a few insects that linger around in the fall. And luckily for this tree right here, those insects can actually pollinate these flowers. Once the flowers are pollinated, the seeds are made. And do you think that the birds eat these seeds and poop them out in the forest and spread them around? No, you would think that, but this tree has a cool adaptation. Man, this tree will actually grow the seeds and shoot them out. You might be thinking, oh, the seeds probably just go 2 feet. Absolutely not. They go 30 feet. They shoot the seeds 30 feet. Do you know how long 30 feet is? Think of a school bus. That's about how long 30 feet is. Holy cow. That is one of my favorite adaptations any living thing has. So cool. I wonder what the next tree does. Let's go take a look. I'm gonna have to sit down by this little guy right here. He looks to be a baby tree, like a seedling or a sapling. Look at those leaves. There's 3 different types. There's one that looks like a closed hand, one that looks like a little thumb sticking out, and one that looks like your little thumb and your pinky are sticking out. Holy cow, you must be a little sassafras tree. And I know this little guy's working really hard. His roots actually send out chemicals throughout the ground that slow the growth of these surrounding shrubbery and other plants. You must be working real hard to get that sunlight up there. And back in the 1600s and earlier, it was believed that this little guy's wood would actually bring good luck to anyone who had it. Could you give me some good luck? That'd be great. Anyways, yes, again, the wood is very lucky. Another thing about this tree that I just remembered was they would make tea out of it. They'd take the bark and other parts of the tree and make some yummy tea. And that tea tastes like something you're very familiar with. Root beer. Have you ever had root beer? That's what this would taste like. They used to take the oil to actually make the flavor in root beer. He's also yummy too. Keep growing, little guy. You'll get up there with the other trees. Let's go check out our last tree. Our last tree! The leaves, they have a pointier end and rougher edges again. And the distinct characteristic of this tree is the smooth bark. This is an American beech tree. Wait a minute. The bark. It's not smooth anymore. Oh no. Let's see why. N and M. It seems like people found the need to draw all over this tree. Oh no, poor tree. This actually hurts the tree, and you know, when we're out hiking, we don't want to see marks all over the trees. We want to keep them just the way they are. So let's not do this to these trees, okay? Let's keep them nice and safe. Just like the shagbark hickory, the beech produces nuts that a bunch of critters love to eat. Squirrels will actually run around and bury them in the woods. If I was a squirrel, I sure would forget where I'd bury the nuts. I wonder what happens when you bury the nuts. Oh yeah, when you bury the nuts and you forget where they are, it actually plants another tree. Lucky for this big guy right here, more little trees will be planted if I was a squirrel. But yes, squirrels actually do forget where they bury their nuts, and that's how more trees are planted. Now I sure did have fun today playing this little scavenger hunt. If you want to do this at home or even in the park, you can grab a field guide or print out some sheets on the internet and look around and try to figure out what kind of trees there are in your backyard or even in this park. I had tons of fun. We learned a lot about 5 different types of trees and their cool adaptations. I hope to see you guys in the park real soon. Thank you again for watching. See you soon.